Hello everyone, I'm still on the Rutus theme because I'm still learning this machine and I want to put as many hours in as I can. The settings I'm using today are the park mode, because I think the park mode is more biased towards low conductive targets, and that's what we're after. I want to spend as much time learning this Rutus as I can because iron. Because we've just been on another field across the road and I struggled with it, I'll be perfectly honest with you, but we've always struggled there no matter what machine we're using. And I thought, do you know what, that'd be a good place to try this Rutus. I had a little hammered coin and that was about it. Target ID's not brilliant, but I am accepting -6 on the discrimination. So those guys who watch the channel know I like the machine to be quite lively, quite on its toes. I like to hear everything that's going on, and obviously that is iron. That's not iron, that's coming in at 18, look. A nice repeatable, sweet sound. That's just, yeah, it's just a piece of lead. So sticky this mud. There you go, a round piece of lead. And also today I'd like to cover the hodograph in a little bit more detail. The hodograph is Rutus's own version of kind of an XY screen, something like that. You can get a lot of information from this hodograph, so I've been told, so perhaps it's time to delve a bit deeper into it. There's a good signal. Can you see there's what they call the hodograph there? So the more the target comes this way, the better it is, and iron is in that bottom left. Don't know if you can see that. It's just sounds good, doesn't it? And that's what it is. I don't know if that's a pin off a fibula or something, or a little medieval pin. Tiny little thing. Brilliant. Anyway, we've got a guest with us today, Mr. P. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate, thank you.
And I see you've got a Rutus.
Gonna give it a go.
He's gonna guess, what made you buy a Rutus then?
Last time we were out, I think, really. Seen enough on the day on this particular field, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was just knocking out the sort of small little Romans. And there's lots of things I like about it, but it's going to be a little learning curve, as all.
Yeah, we've just been over the road there and we've struggled, haven't we? So
yeah. It needs a plough, but in fairness, the last few machines I've used over there is not a lot's come up. But no,
right.
High hopes for this, definitely.
Let's give it a try. Definitely. Another tiddler. Little bit of a musical tone to that, isn't there? Where's the iron? Low. There you go. Little Roman coin. Yay. We've started on the Roman. Let me take my gloves off so you can have a better look at that. And there it is, look. Can't really see a lot on it, to be fair with you. But just by the shape and the size, I can tell that's a Roman. Maybe we can see the head on it. There's the head on it just there. Can you see it? So yeah, Roman coin. Yippee! Now this is a signal which has been catching me out a fair bit because I've not been using the hodograph. It sounds pretty good, but you can see by the screen it's really disrupted. Have a look at this. As you can see, that hodograph is just snaking all over the screen. And you can get it really sweet at a certain angle. Don't forget, I'm running this Versa really open. It's really raw. I'm using no iron filters on it at all. So I'm really setting myself up to fail in many ways, but I just want to hear everything in order to sort of perhaps get those difficult targets next to iron. It's nice getting like a 3D map, isn't it, of what's under your feet. Now, what we can hear here, there's just so much iron. It's literally a carpet of nails, and these stalks don't help, but in a way they slow you down. Big piece of iron. Like I say, I'm using no filters at all on this machine, so it's in its raw state. And I know a lot of you guys out there will think, you know what, that's a little bit too noisy for me, but it's really easy to settle it down. It's quite amazing really, we're finding these tiny little targets and we're using quite a large coil. There's one, look. You can see it. You can see it. It's another little coin of some sort. I think that might be a token, you know. Not 100% sure. It's not Roman. Let's take my gloves off and have a better look at that. Don't know, it's been bent in half obviously. Can't see, but there's definitely some writing on that. Can you see it? Don't know. Really don't know. Well, that's an interesting little find. You've probably noticed with this Rutus Versa, the sounds are a little bit different because I've tweaked them to my own personal preferences. What I've done here, I've used the full tone profile, so it's a sliding scale. But what I've done, these little low conductors, the little Roman coins and stuff, I've given it a flat platform, so all the low conductors come in at the same tone, and then when things start getting a bit bigger, then it turns into a full tone, a multi-tone. So I've combined multi-tone with single tone, if that makes sense. So that's how I can focus on that low blatty sound, which isn't the iron, because that's the low conductors. Seems to work for me. Oh, that's a sweet one. 66. Look at that holograph. Very good. Let's hope it's not big lead again. Bit of depth to this one. Right, okay. That'll do with a spade, I think. Oh yeah. Don't be big lead, don't be big lead. No, it's not, I can see it. It's a very small, what looks like a Roman coin. Look at that, and it gives such a whacking great signal. Let's take my gloves off for this one. Definitely a Roman coin, but I thought it might have been a silver one with the high tone, but it's not. It's just a bronze Roman. It just goes to show you, doesn't it, those coins can fall within any range of conductivity. So this one's a tricky one. Look at the holograph. It's all over the place, and so are the numbers. Now that sounds good there. I'm pretty sure that is iron, but I'm going to have a go at that. Here's the culprit, look. Bent piece of iron. Yep, ferrous. Iron. Even with this, what's it, 11-inch coil? I think it's 11-inch coil. Still doing a good job at finding those tiny targets. Iron, we're not getting it both ways. It'd be really interesting to try this in a single frequency mode. So far we've only used multi-frequency. I'm sure the single frequency may bring out a few of those little coins that are hiding, because as a rule on a Roman or medieval site, when there's lots of iron, multi-frequency is not the way to go. Single frequencies have always been a better option. There you go, that'll do. Quite a nice straight holograph there. There it is, look, another little coin. Oh no, he's not, look, he's a button. Sulky teenager, and it's coming up at 20. Nice holograph there, look. Very confident signal. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, I can see it, look. Can you see that there? That tiny, tiny little Roman minim. I'm sure that's a minim. I just love finding these tiny little Roman coins. But wasn't that holograph confident? Probably hear there in the distance Paul's digging a target. He's doing quite well, he's had 3 or 4. We'll have a chat with him in a minute. So there you go, that's a tiny little Roman minim. A nice confident signal, lovely holograph reading. So how are you getting on, mate?
Going, not too bad, yeah. I've had a few coins. Sort of work in progress, I think, you know. It's
yeah.
First time out with it. I think it's taken a little bit of getting used to the tones and that. The iron and the mid-tones and low tones seem to be a bit close together, but it's just going to take a little bit of time, I think. That's
not a bad shout, actually. So perhaps we separate that low tone and mid-tone, that band. Let's make the low conductors a little bit higher, and see if they shout out a bit better.
I think they'll just separate a little bit.
Only takes a minute to adjust, so you know, let's have a go at it. This is my machine here, so what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to adjust the tones a little bit. So let's go into one tone, long press, and as you can see there, that range there is a little bit perhaps low, and it's coming in at 270 hertz. So I think what I might do, I'm going to raise that 270 hertz up to about, I don't know, 330. So if I press the middle button, I get that swipe, that arrow either way, which is telling me I can just block edit the whole range there to where I want to stop. So why not go up to, let's say 34. So now up to 34 is given 330 hertz. 470 is the next one. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. Back again, and we're in the detect screen. That don't sound bad. Now Paul, try yours with our original tones on.
See? 32.
Yeah.
Line.
Good holograph, yeah.
Definitely.
So what I've done on mine, I've just raised that tone.
That's different. See?
Would you prefer something like that?
I prefer that than what I got now.
Okay, let's adjust yours and we're good to go. 49.50. Again, a bit of a scattered holograph there. Still a diggable target, but now I'm getting used to this machine. I don't think that's a coin. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a coin or perhaps a piece of lead? I think it might be lead, you know. Let's have a look. And there it is. Piece of lead. So that's an interesting lesson there. The coins tend to give more of a confident holograph, where the lead seems to be more wishy-washy. That's it, guys. The sun started going down now and my nose is running more than ever. Sorry about that. If this video's brought you any entertainment or value, I'll be honoured if you could subscribe or even ring that bell so you get notified next time we have a video out. But until then, guys, I've really enjoyed your company. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Do you like the halo behind me? It looks quite good, doesn't it? Almost godlike.